We're interviewing Flame. This is Aaron the Addisons on Urban Family Talk. Um, let's get into this because there's a lot of talk lately, especially. I mean, it's always been going on because I remember, cross movement, tunnel rat, that kind of thing. But
Yeah,
philosophy on ministry.
yeah.
We talked about the evolution in Christian rap, but is the message changing? Are we trying to dress it up so the world can feel it more? Like, what's your philosophy on ministry?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that so a few things are happening. I think one of the things I appreciate is I think guys are starting to realize that doing explicit didactic music doesn't add to my righteousness. So a lot of artists
Mm,
felt like I have to rap every single verse, heavy theology, say Jesus' name X
mm-hmm.
amount of times,
Mm-hmm.
and that validates my Christianity before God. So I think a lot of artists are understanding the gospel better, and they're realizing that doesn't make them right before God. So I appreciate that liberty and that understanding of the gospel that's liberating people. I appreciate the fact that guys are more excited about evangelism and
Mm,
missions and getting in places that people aren't hearing the gospel. So they're trying to think that through. I appreciate that aspect. But
yeah.
then on the flip side, of course, there is the challenge of, well, how do we accomplish that? And that's where the discussion has to be held. So I think it's okay to express some of our liberties and we have freedom to do certain things. But at the end of the day, if our goal is to see people saved, the gospel must be communicated. So now I think artists are thinking through, well, do I even want to do this as a ministry? Can I just do it as a career move and a
Uh,
vocation? So
yeah.
that's kind of some of the shift we're seeing in the genre.
Hmm.
Okay, so
Go ahead.
that kind of naturally flows into those two philosophies. And I want to, if I can, I
Mm-hmm.
want to just press just a little bit because I know that there are these kind of um, two, I guess, different ends of the spectrum when you talk about approach. So whether you call it ministry or whether you call it your career or your gifts and your abilities or whatever, but you have on the one end of the spectrum, you have this kind of unapologetic approach to the music. I'm a Christian. It's gonna be heavy in one way or the other. It may not be that I'm saying the name of Christ in every line, but at the same time, I have a clear target audience. I have a goal that I'm going towards, and I'm not apologizing for that. I'm not trying to ask people to accept me into their club. That's one end of the spectrum. On the other end, you have this sort of what I would consider this most recent approach. Some people call it stealth. They're kind of flying under the radar. It's the quote unquote, I'm a rapper who's a Christian. And
Mm,
so my question is, where do you fall on this continuum? It doesn't have to be that you're on one end or the other, but on this continuum. And then how do you view the effectiveness of both of those philosophies or one above the other?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think so. To me, everything hinges upon your goal because what I'm finding out is a lot of artists that are shifting in a direction away from explicit Christian lyrics, their goals have changed. So they're expressing a certain liberty that frees them up to just enjoy hip hop for what it is. It's not the purpose of it isn't to see people come to saving knowledge in our Lord Jesus Christ. It's strictly to enjoy an artistic art form that God allowed to be created and do it to His glory. And that's so I think if you feel within your soul, I want to see people saved, see people change, then those artists have been the ones that said, I'm going to put the gospel in my music so that when I'm not in conversation with someone, they can listen to my music and perhaps through the power of the Holy Spirit actually be converted from the music itself. And then other artists are saying, I just want to make bridge music. So someone who's not a Christian or maybe a new Christian, they just have good music to listen to. It's not disrespecting women, disrespecting authority, but it's just good, positive, clean hip hop. So to me, that's really where I'm going to be pressing the issue is what are your goals? And then, there are pitfalls on both sides. So
yeah.
the discussion has to be held and probably more than one.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you have any concerns, Flame? I mean, this is just real talk, and I'm saying this as a person who's listened since just one, since Flame. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you can
Yeah.
hear kind of look, and even now, we've grown as a family. Now we have children. Our kids are learning by listening to your music. You know what I'm saying? They're asking us deep questions, and we're like, man, just hold up. Can we just listen for a second? You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
now you have a different kind of music now where it may not be that they're not asking questions, but if we listen to it in front of them, they might ask different kinds of questions. So my question to you is, do you have any concern or cause for pause, even, as we see kind of in-house within the body of Christ, a lot of people are trying to be relevant. Is there anything that we need to watch for specifically?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I think so. There's always a concern for me when I'm always going to want to know, like if someone goes from one approach to the next one, where they were explicit about the gospel and then they change. As a friend or as a Christian, I'm going to want to know why. Like what happened internally that caused you to shift from this direction to this direction. And that may not be anything sinful or anything negative per se, but I'm at least want to explore that within that person, first and foremost. And then secondly, I'm going to want to understand, okay, how are you going to be leveraging your influence for the sake of the gospel, even if you're not doing Christian music per se. So help me think through and understand how you're going to be connecting with people and sharing the gospel with them so that they can hear the good news about Christ. Yeah. That's another thing I'm going to think through. And then some of the pitfalls, or once you get into a more mainstream space, it's just a different environment. So you have a different set of temptations, a different set of struggles. What things will you put in place to combat some of the new things you're going to be experiencing in this new world, this new phase? And then the last thing is going to be, well, how about you think through ways to occupy another space? So if that's the kind of music you're doing, I think it's healthy to take a step away from the Christian market, if that's what you want to do, and pursue the mainstream market so that you can free up that space for someone who does want to be in the Christian market.
Okay, Flame, we're coming up on a break. This is Aaron and Addisons. We'll be right back.
I'm putting it all on the table, man. 2P13. I'm all in. Yeah, 2P13. The whole team all in, too. 2P13. Game over. KB. Let's go. R.I.P. to the old men. To the old men. Raised in the States, my chips in. My chips in. We 50 deep and ain't bluffing. And ain't bluffing. My poker face. Got on my poker face. Man, I'm so far gone like Cluedo. Like a running back through that too. I'm putting it all on that line, boy. Ninth in the Grand Slam. All or nothing, no straight. Got the highest hand, no straight. Got a 10, got a jack, queen, king, and ace. That's a royal flush. If you ain't know what that mean, man, what that mean? Rally around me, man, then I king. All that mean is King Jesus gave us everything on that tree. Gave us everything when he died. Gave us the winning hand when he rose. 2 Peter 1:3. All things, Lord knows. All or nothing, see, I ain't bluffing and I ain't flexing, I'm turning up. They pulverized them, they brutalized them, they crucified them, they strung them up. He resurrected, I rose with him. That great commission, I go get him. I'm so fishing, I'm so Christian. I still believe God can sober up. Anybody's sin, prop. Holy Spirit, gospel, God. We just gotta be all in. It worked back then with Paul and them. I'ma stick to the script, I'm all in, go. R.I.P. to the old man, Raised in the States, my chips in. We 50 deep and ain't bluffed in. My poker face, got on my poker face, and we all in. We all in. We all in. Tell them we all in. We all in. All in. We all in. All in. We all in. All in. Tell them we all in. We all in. If they asking, then we all in.
You can feel that? Every breath, every pump in my chest is a blessing. I'm blessed to get back to him now. Sits high, real rap, no lie. The impact, oh my God, cause I saw God back in 05, want me to stay calm. You kidding, man, the cold high. I've been feeling for a minute, but when the spirit living in me, I'm starting, I'ma finish. And you gotta deal with it, us, making sure that you feel it whenever we step in the building. Fearing nobody, cause he ain't beat by nobody. Checked the tomb and found nobody. Get it? They found nobody. That's why I go so Canelo, Ward, and Kodo. I'm fighting for my country, that's the kingdom, man, you know though. Hold up, you can't Cause he said he get at that grave and look at where he's seated. We all in, all in, we all in. Tell 'em we all in, we all in, all in, we all in, all in, we all in, all in, we all in. Tell 'em we all in, we all in. If they asking, and we R.I.P. to the old man, to the old man. Raising the stakes, my chips in, my chips in. We 50 deep and ain't bluffed in, bluffed in. My poker face, got on my poker face, and we all in, we all in.
All right. That's Flame. All in. That's all in. That's Dainty C's jam right there.
Turn up for
She
Jesus.
levitating. She comes up off the ground when that song comes on.
Yeah, man,
I
she-
mean, she just straight gets off the ground.
She really-
Is she getting some air?
Yeah, she all right. She kind of dignified today. I don't know what's going on. Maybe because she's sitting across from me. She not in her
She
little
gotta hold it down.
yeah. She not in her little hideaway studio on the side. So,
man.
but yeah, man, that's Flame All In. That's off his latest project, Royal Flush. And look, we're gonna be giving one away second hour. And so y'all just keep listening for that. This is Aaron and Addisons on Urban Family Talk. And Flame was you were talking about the philosophies of ministry and what we need to look out for, in that. So I'll let you go ahead and continue with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the last point I was saying was, so I think for people that want to be in the mainstream market, they should, in a lot of ways, pursue that and free up the space for the Christian artists that would love to occupy that space. And that way that they could be effective over in that area, hopefully. And then someone who wants to serve the body and do things, locking arms with the church can advance, however you want to say it, but move in that space and be able to contribute. Rather than gridlocking both spaces, then certain people don't get a chance to minister.
Now that's real.
Okay, now Mr. Gray,
Yeah.
is this thing on? Is my mic on?
Yeah, it's
That is a very, very provocative statement. Very.
Yeah.
And so now let me okay, hold on, because that has to kind of marinate just for a second. we had Show Baraka on the show just a couple weeks back, and one of the things I pressed him on, I said this. We as the church, and I'm unapologetically, I'm a member, I'm a part of the body. So, this whole skirting around the issue, I said, we as a member of the church, right, we impart, we share in your joy of being successful artists, okay? And so, like, when we were talking about the Talented Tenth, and one of the things that show said in there was, kind of referring to playing in front of youth groups, and kind of like there was a little bit disdain, kind of like, I'm sick of this kind of, I guess performances, if you will. And so my thing was, should the church be offended? Should we be offended that, I think of us as missionaries, we would bring these artists in. And specifically, let's not, pretend this elephant's not in the room. We brought in Lecrae several times before Lecrae was Lecrae. You understand what I'm saying? And so then all of a sudden, when we come face to face with someone who says, I'm more so about rocking stages now than I am about the pavement. We are conflicted because we're kind of like, well, where do we fall? Should we be cheering for you, or will that be an embarrassment? And so my question is, when you say artists need to make room for those who are unapologetic in their philosophies, and I'm not trying to start like a Christian rap war. I'm not trying to get raised or anything like that. Is that one of those kind of call out moments where you say, go ahead and do what you're doing. It seems you're moving in that direction, and let us do what we're doing. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yeah, I just think that, and like I said, I feel like people like, my friend JR and people like Show and Lecrae, I was able to watch I guess they had like a panel discussion at the Understanding Conference. I was able to watch that and kind of get a better understanding of what they were doing, as well as talking to them over the phone. So I think that's healthy for them to continue to share their hearts and help the body understand the direction they're going in. And that way we can cheer them on more than we would have probably without understanding it. So that's what I'm saying. I think, so to me, phase B would be, okay, that now that guys are aspiring to go in that direction and are gaining ground in that direction, I think it would be cool and helpful for the Christian rap genre to allow some up-and-coming artists to occupy a certain space so that they can continue to catapult the brand of Christian rap that people typically associate with those terms. So if they do that, then new artists can lock arms with the body and serve in those unique ways. So they'll kind of free up that space, and I think that would be that'll serve the body well, and then it'll help us also encourage our brothers going in a different direction. It'll help us cognitively understand better the direction they're going in.
Wow.
So, yeah, I just think that would be helpful for the overall advancement of Christian rap genre, because there's so much new talent, so many new dudes that want to do traditional Christian rap, but they won't get the platform or they won't get the opportunity because the space isn't made available. And we have to create other lanes and other opportunities for them to serve. And I think part of that is brothers that feel passionate about being in the mainstream market by faith, relinquishing some of that, that grip and letting people in.
Do you see the mainstream market as a notch of greater success than you do what you have accomplished, or what other Christian artists have accomplished within our genre and within what we feel like has been, I guess, for lack of a better word, our lane? Should artists be looking for mainstream as like this is the mark of success, or no?
The funny thing is, in the mainstream market, and this is something I think a lot of Christian rap artists don't understand, is they're not too much more successful than the Christian rapper. So it's almost not really anything to aspire to for the sake of success, because all the record sales are low. I think you got like my record sales, even people like Triple E, Andy Mineo, they're doing numbers as equal as a lot of the mainstream rappers. We're all pulling from the same pool when it comes to distribution. Yeah. So whether you sign with Infinity, my distribution company, or you're with a major label, you're going to probably talk to the same lady to get your music in Walmart that I do. So you could be on a major label talking to the same people. So the world and the space is so small, and I think people think, well, if I can land on some of these television outlets or some of these other outlets, that equals I'm bigger now. Well, really it doesn't, because a lot of the dudes that we think are making a lot of money are really well known. They may be, more people may recognize their face, but they're not more successful. They're not making more money. They're probably not even doing bigger shows than you. A lot of these artists, they don't do big shows. They're still grinding and still trying to advance. So for the Christian rapper, I think that should comfort us to know that we have a space where we can serve the body, we can evangelize the non-Christian world, and a lot of people still have the opportunity to make a living off of it. So you don't have to shift in your direction in order to make a living in a lot of cases, or in order to reach people, because a lot of the mainstream rappers are talking more about Christianity now than they've ever had.
Yeah.
So the topic is on the table. It's a great environment to share the gospel with a non-believing world. So I don't think a lot of adjustments are necessary, but I appreciate people who are being honest with their personality and are exploring new freedoms because they're doing it within a framework that God allows, and they still want to glorify Him with just artistic expression. And I appreciate that if that's drawing people closer to God and helping them understand, that this doesn't validate my Christian claims, but I don't think that it's necessary. I just don't think it's necessary today.
Okay. You came out with a song not too long ago. It was off the 6th, but it was I think it's called Man on Fire, but that number one spot.
Yeah.
When I first heard that, I was like, ooh,
Talking about you, huh?
He found me out, but man, the heart behind that song, okay, because in my mind, when I first heard it, I thought of some people, I was like, ooh, man, he going in, but having the chance to speak to you now, what was the heart behind that track? What were you trying to say? Was it pointed at anybody or just the whole issue at hand?
Yeah. I mean, the record was pointing to everybody. I think one of the things I appreciated about hip-hop is hip-hop always talks about the elephant in the room. That's something that, it's like, I'm not going to not say something. That's that contradicts what we do and how
Right.
we want to express ourselves artistically. And then the second thing was, it was an honest song. I think the
Yeah.
3 verses allowed me to speak honestly. My first verse was my reaction.
Mm-hmm.
My first verse was, what's going on? Like, why is everybody changing? You know what I'm saying? And it was just that honest, upfront expression of that. And then the second verse was me saying, okay, let me pull back from my emotional outburst and ask the question, why?
Mm.
So I came in like, just talking about maybe people are doing it for this reason. Maybe people are doing it for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third verse was me collecting all of my ideas and saying, okay, maybe I'm taking it too far. Maybe I'm being too extreme. 2 people can have the same goal but different approach to the ministry.
Yeah.
And I was like, I ain't saying you got to rap like this, theological rap like this, Christ in a rhyme in a rap like this, but ain't nothing wrong if you rap like this.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, well, if you're going to do that, don't make it seem like what I'm doing or what we've done traditionally isn't effective or that
Right.
it's corny or that it's
Yes.
it falls short of reaching a non-Christian, because hundreds of thousands of people have been converted from explicit, didactic, systematic theology over rap.
Amen.
Like straight hood
Amen.
dudes that were career criminals heard the most Jesus-oriented song and became Christians.
Mm.
So don't try to act like what we're doing is ineffective now because you're now liberated or you now have had an epiphany. You know what I mean? So the song was just speaking honestly about that. And I think it was necessary, especially coming from me, who I've been in it for a while and I've been able to observe. And I think it was helpful and healthy for me to say it. So then it didn't come across like I was hating on anybody, because I don't have anything to gain. Like I'm not.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I don't have anything to lose or gain. It's just I'm in a space now where it's like I just really want to see the next generation passionate about the things we were all passionate about, which was the gospel, church plants, reaching the community. Like, let's not forget about those things in the name of pursuing success or just having fun, expressing ourselves artistically.